Buenas noches, everyone. Good evening. I'm Ricardo Maldonado, Managing Director of the 92nd Streetwise Unterberg Poetry Center, and it's my pleasure to welcome you to tonight's tribute of Ntozake Shange, whom I had the honor of meeting some time ago back in Puerto Rico as part of a festival, technically my first ever as a poet, celebrating our return to the island and the literary work of all diasporas. Those of us coming to and coming back to what we know or knew then inside as home, she dreamt us. I feel like in her generosity and radical care, she dreamt us a home and still dreams us one. She dreams us forward, and it's an honor to celebrate her. A last-minute program update. Due to unforeseen circumstances, Hilton Alls, Anna DeVere Smith, and Jacqueline Woodson will no longer be participating in this event, but they send their light our way. Tonight's participants have each chosen to share work of deep personal meaning. But before we begin the show, I'd like to thank our co-sponsors, the Academy of American Poets, Barnard College, and the Poetry Society of America for their generous support of this evening. I'd also like to welcome the students in the house tonight as part of our Christopher Lightfoot Walker Literature Project, which for more than 30 years has brought thousands of New York City high school students to meet with writers prior to their appearance on stage. Earlier this evening, tonight's participants met with students from the Young Women's Leadership Academy of East Harlem, the Young Women's Leadership School of Brooklyn, and the Eastside Community High School in Manhattan. Hi, everyone. Thanks to the generosity of our friends in publishing, these students will receive souvenir copies for colored girls to take home. I also want to thank the Shange Literary Trust for trusting the Y with such a special gathering. And now please join me in welcoming our first speaker, Ifa Bayeza.
Good evening. First, let me apologize for my voice. She's gone on strike, but we're still negotiating. Let me begin also by thanking Bernard Schwartz, Ricardo, and Sophie, and your wonderful staff for arranging this program tonight, and to the artists who are bearing witness to my sister's brilliant career and continuing her glorious legacy, and to all of those fans, friends, scholars, and students of her work who have joined us today. The 92nd Street Y is legendary, a perfect place to remember Ntozake Shange and to champion all of those elements that she represented: writers, writing, activism, committed identity, womanhood, poetry. As Edridge Donnicott said, creating dangerously, which she did always. But still, how to summarize and characterize the creator of 12 theater works, 6 novels, 18 books of poetry, 5 children's books, a myriad collaboration of albums, performance works, anthologies, essays, happenings. She did a performance one time running across the bridges of Philadelphia, stopping at each bridge to do something. Such is her volume of words. She even put one in the dictionary, choreo poem, a form of dramatic expression that combines poetry, dance, music, and song. The term was first coined in 1975 by American writer Ntozake Shange in a description of her work for colored girls who considered suicide when the rainbow is enough. There are many who could stand here today to discuss Ntozake Shange as a literary icon. I cannot. I am not a student or scholar of her work. I am merely her sister and can only see her through that lens. When I think of her, though, I am reminded of that Sufi tale of a group of blind people describing an elephant. Based on their limited experience and exposure, each person's description was totally different from everyone else's. In my case, memories are complex, complicated, as personal as they are professional, a tumble of honesty, generosity, grief, gratitude, fury that she is no longer here. Anyone who knows her recognizes that Zaki very often fabricated fact. She is a poet, after all, and that's allowed. But as a poet, she always spoke truth, emotional, searing truth, as brutal as it was beautiful, as learned as it was wild. I ponder, do I share literary anecdotes about my experience of her work, our collaboration in the evolution of her voice, or personal anecdotes about our relationship as sisters? I realized I couldn't do one without the other, so intertwined have been our lives. It's an extraordinary tale of sibling symbiosis, rivalry, love. Anyone who has siblings can relate to the duality, the quest for individuation of sisters close in age. In my case, being the younger sister of Ntozake Shange, daughter number 2, as my mother used to call me, has presented adventures ranging from terrifying to magnificent, crushing to illuminating, the great arcs of the classic arcs of tragedy and comedy. Ntozake and I were sisters. Our sisters will always be sisters. I'm going to share 3 perspectives on that today. The first is a couple of sections from my work, Welcome to Wonderland, about our childhood. Z and I were very different people then, and exactly the same. You want to know about my sister? I could write a book, an encyclopedia, a different letter for each volume, like D for Dewey School. First entry, Wednesday, September 9, the first day of the worst days of my life, the day my sister went away to Dewey School. Dewey was a special school, a gifted school, attracting only the best, and my sister was the only one who had gotten in. It was very important that I find out how she did that. She was already getting special treatment. She got to eat breakfast by herself, and she used the bathroom first. She got a record player for her birthday. She got lunch money, and she and Mom would go off and talk about secret stuff, talking about periods. Even Miss Valentine in the 3rd grade didn't spend 20 minutes talking about periods. I mean, how long does it take to figure out the end of a sentence? And she's supposed to be gifted. It all started with that Sputnik stuff. Ever since the Russians went up in space, everybody's been acting strange. Granted, my sister has always been strange. How many people do you know who eat the margins of the New York Times? Not any paper, mind you, just the Sunday Times from New York. Not the print, just the margins. If she rationed out the sections, it would last the whole week. But now she was acting downright peculiar. She came home from school, somebody else. Do I know you? Of course you know me. I'm your sister, Wanda Williams. Remember? I have a sister. My sister, my pal. Wherever I went, there she was before me. When I only knew how to spell no with an N, she said, "You can spell it with a K, you know." Then, when our cousin Catherine taught me how to write my name, even before I started school, first day of kindergarten, I printed my firm straight letters on my fat line paper with my fat red pencil, Wanda Williams, capital. But my Palette, said, "That's not writing. This is writing." Paulette. Her thin yellow pencil made looping curls that made me dizzy just to look at them. Linda. Letters that were fluid like waves instead of sticks. Williams. Letters that danced across the page. "That is writing," she said. Writing. I had to learn how to do that. IQ, you don't even know what it means. I do too. It means the intelligence quiz. It's the test you take to get into Dewey School. I just want to know what's on it so I can get ready. Ha! You can't. Ow! Are you going to tell me or not? No. Come on. Come on, tell me what's on that test. What do I need to know? Tell. No. What do I need? A new brain. Ask Santa to give you one for Christmas. Along with another brain-damaged doll. Oh, no, you don't. You don't say anything about Lydia. She's recovering from surgery. Tell me now or I'll pull out all your hair and you see how it feels. Ow! Okay. I'll tell you what you need to know. Everything there is to know in the world. Nobody knows everything there is to know in the world. That's why nobody got into Dewey School but me. You don't even know everything there is to know in the world. You got a P in arithmetic. I was lucky. They didn't ask me any arithmetic. You don't know what they're going to ask. It's just like the college bowl. They might ask you all arithmetic. They might ask you the theory of relativity. You don't know what they're going to ask. You don't know what you're going to have to know. So the only way to pass it is to know everything. Everything. Think about that, smarty pants. Intelligence. Where are you going to find it, huh? The dictionary? And I didn't mean that regular one. I meant the big fat one Mom used to squish mice. Boom! Intelligence, the faculty of the ability as to use ones to create new intellect, reason, shrewdness, angel, comprehension, knowledge, news, advice, comprehension, intercourse, secret service, legend, wisdom, brain, psyche, skill, soul, wits. Yeah, nitwit. No wonder she's the only one who passed it. Well, I did get in, Lord knows how. When the woman was stringing beads, I was looking out the window waiting for her to ask me a question. And my sister forgot to tell me one thing about Dewey School. It was all white people. The next year, we moved to New Jersey, our parents' second failed experiment in integration. Sitting on the back stoop, not even a porch, my sister and I alternately bemoaned our fate. Ranch house complete with cows, corn, possum, field mice. Psst. Lawrence Township, it's not even a town. No sidewalks, nearest store is 3 miles away. Bus once an hour going nowhere. Wide open spaces, Daddy says, room to stretch out. One bedroom I have to share with you. Bunk beds, such indignity. Least we got stars, look at the sky, like they could reach down and touch you. They're light years away, you know. You know, the twinkling ones. We're seeing what happened 1,000,000 years ago. Or they're seeing us 1,000,000 years from now. How do you know they're not seeing us 1,000,000 years from now? The Big Bang, the universe is expanding this way, not that way. And just how do you know which way the universe is expanding? When it's, was that a shooting star? It's August. I was conceived in August, a night of shooting stars. Yeah, Mom and Dad went out to the backyard, stars in their eyes, and made you. Do you know another story? Let's go dance. You found the record player? Do I have to follow this time? How come I always have to follow? They're not stars, you know. They're meteors, shooting stars, just a bunch of fast-moving rocks. It's poetry, okay? Ever heard of that? As we moved into adulthood, Zaki and I often worked in support of each other's careers. I lent my dramaturgical design skills to the original For Color Girls, and she found me a gig at Lorraine Hansberry Theater in San Francisco, which led to my getting a Kennedy Center Fund for New American Plays Fellowship. We may be the only sister team, each of whom has won that coveted prize. When I left my marriage with a depleted bank account and 4 grocery bags in a yellow cab, she found me an apartment on 75th and Riverside for $186. When she couldn't hold a pen, I said, "So tell me the story." It was maybe 2014. She had had many physical challenges, a series that were cataclysmic, that would have been catastrophic for any other normal human being. A stroke, sepsis, gastric inflammation requiring a brief, excruciating colectomy, another stroke, neuropathy that left her hands always tingling and in control of their own movements. She was constantly trying to hold them in place, folding them together as if to keep them from flying away. She could not hold a pen and was very blue. I said, "Let's work on something." The Negro Ensemble company had approached her about doing a production of Spell No. 7. I said, "Why don't you surprise them? Do something else, a photograph, Lovers in Motion." I always loved that piece, even though it hadn't quite gelled. It was her only dialogue play, where the characters talk more to each other than to the audience. I thought if she worked on something that was already started, she could get her momentum back. It's a story of young love, or the struggle for it, combat breathing, she called it. A relationship between an aspiring photographer and a dancer bent on revolutionizing and reinventing her art form. I guess you know who that was. I said, "Show the people something different. It's your only dialogue play." Yeah, she sighed. Joe, meaning Joe Pam, asked me if I was ever going to write anything in dialogue, and I said, "Here." The play had a fabulous opening at the Public in 1978, but it didn't fare very well. I always felt it was unfinished. "It needs a rewrite," I told her. "I don't do that." So I noticed. So I said, "Tell me the story. How did they meet?" 3 times nonverbal communication. First time, at a party, sitting out in a room by myself. He came into the doorway. Our eyes met, and he walked away. We met, and there was... The next time, I was dancing down with the drum circle on the wharf. He watched me do the dance. Eyes met, and he walked away. He had been taking my picture. The next time, 90 minutes coming out of dance class sweaty and flushed, he crossed the street to tell me, "You have a beautiful mouth." We took a walk from Chinatown and walked back to the Fillmore district, talking about, each other, dreams, poet, bookmaker, dancer, who performs with dance. I'm going to make a new aesthetic, independently created aesthetic. No selling ourselves and our legacy cheaply. Someone else's life, somebody else's idea of what art is. Music is like another character, allowing us to break into ourselves, go to places we're unable to hear, beneath the necessity of talking, move like your life depended on it, use everything we've got to pass through the barriers, make your picture, dance and shout, make something happen. You're crazy. Well, yeah, hell yeah. What about you? I take photographs of black people as they really are. All there is lies about us. Either the white version of it or the black, so correct. The wildness that lurks there is vanished, banished. We're not always respectable and contained, So how do you propose to do that? Capture, as you say, how? Who? We are? Just walking around, seeing people being cruel to each other. You have a really distant relationship with happiness, I see. Don't you know how to celebrate anything? There in his eyes in the harsh night, trails of whimper or slight giggles led to a solo, a bassoon, a bass clarinet, some sound broader, more powerful than this child. I know I heard Chicago howling in his eyes. When love surfaces like crumbs, he'll sit up and grin slyly. I knew you were here all along. You were here like me, unfinished on a tango, like an air song, letting me exhume in the exhilaration of my sadness. I want to know what love sounds like. I want to know what love sounds like. I want to know what love sounds like. So yes, she added some things, clarified, sampled a little bit from some of her other works to make a new play and process. That was in 2014. 5 years later, it's going up. Negro Ensemble Company is producing a photograph, Lovers in Motion, this February, and I'll be directing, trying to realize her vision once again. While the original point of the exercise, working together, is lost, the end point, another dazzling electric work by Ntozake Shange, I think, will be found. And along with physical therapy and speech therapy and psychotherapy, she got herself back together and back on track for the glorious sunset of her career. The Shelley, the Hurston Wright, her triumphant return to Neo Rican with a choreo essay, Lost in Language and Sound, based on her book, an award for her bilingual book of poetry, Wild Beauty, an award she was so proud of, so thrilled to be welcomed into the Global Polylingual Fellowship of Writers, plans for a newly imagined production of For Colored Girls at the Public. I was off to Louisiana to finish a project. She was not going to be strong enough to go, but I knew I would have much to tell her when I returned. When she called, however, I had misplaced my license and was searching for it frantically and was on my way to motor vehicles to get a new one so I could get on the plane and rent the car when I got there. I'll call you later, I told her. The next morning, our sister, Bisa, woke me up. She was crying, sitting in the Charles de Gaulle airport in Paris. They couldn't revive her. What? She's gone, Ifa. Zaki is gone. I finally listened to her message, her voice uncharacteristically afraid. She couldn't move her legs. The shooting needles of pain were back. Bisa was not there. She had taken her medicine. The doctor told her to wait to see if the condition improved. She had talked to her brother later that day and said she was feeling better. Collecting her things, I came across one of her notebooks, her last notebook. We had both taken to using the black and white college composition books from the dollar store. This one, her last one, was so well used it looked partially consumed. Phone numbers, big, erratic, emphatic scrawl, large print letters, new ideas, the start of a new poem, I Am an Old Woman, some of which you'll hear later tonight. Jagged print, fat magic markers in teal and magenta, which she called me to read. There was a page even where she practiced writing her name, not the fat block letters of her work in the rest of the notebook, but her signature. She was learning how to write again. Ntozake Shange, Ntozake Shange, Ntozake Shange, Ntozake Shange, Ntozake Shange. Each effort stronger and more sure than the last. Just as she had taught me so many decades ago, she was teaching herself how to write. She walked like a lion, and where she tread, the earth trembled in delight, awe, and revelation. That she is not here is a reality I still do not quite comprehend. I miss her. Things finally are starting to happen for me, and I'm mad she is not here to share it and talk about it after. I miss her. Going on our adventures, learning a new writer, a musician, blushing at her unrivaled eroticism, the glint of mischief in those dark, sparkling eyes, sneakers on her walker, white hot pants X69, drumstick legs still looking good, Flojo nails, aqua hair, her concise, astute analysis of everything. The fights, the feuds, the food, bread pudding ablaze, stuffed goose with plums, hot pickled okra from Whole Foods. Those big hugs I hated. I'm going to do it anyway, she said, and would shout and toddle over toward me with her 2 heavy feet, one now with the toes permanently curled. I miss you. Hearing a poem over the phone, fresh off the pen, sampling a newly invented cocktail, seeing you mesmerize a room with your words, words that dance across the page. It was too soon for her to leave us, but she had finished her earthly mission, so grandly executed, and she was tired, ready to shed her corporal body, to be free to dance among the stars, a sky goddess again. Ntozake Shange, the poet queen, a bright shooting star that sails across the sky, causing all eyes to gaze upon it and sense within themselves the wonders of the universe. Thank you.
Hello. Hi. I need a minute. That was everything. Thank you. Whew. I'm gonna I'm not gonna talk about what I'm doing. I'm just gonna do it. I was singing again, just like the beginning. Dreams, some old black magic, came the tune. Yes, I know how strong it is. I can testify to that. Dreaming that dream, I did speak a particular, a peculiar, I don't know what you call it. I don't know what you call it, but how do you say whatever climbing plants talk? What does that sound like? Oh, I'm not sure. But last night I was surely breathing rhododendron. I thought I looked at too much Frida Kahlo. I thought I was imagining it, but I was sitting in my window, the one that faces the avenue, watching the car lights, the people coming and going places. I determined when I realized that the vines of the plant I was sitting under had grown into my braids. At first this didn't bother me much, but then I remembered I had artichokes on the stove. But I couldn't move because I become this plant. Yeah, I got angry. This was my plant. I had fed, turned towards the sunlight and away, washed the leaves, soaked in the tub, led along silk strings to the ceiling. Who's gonna feed me? Who's gonna feed me? Who's gonna feed me? That's what I wanna know. That's what I wanna know. Dream, dream, looking out windows, watching the lights and the people go by. And I remembering Mama had a greenhouse. She nurtured rare flowers and entertained people while I wandered about. When Mama was tending the people, I always wondered, who's gonna feed me? Not done yet. And now I'm not dreaming. Who's gonna take care of me? Who's gonna lead me into the sun and higher towards the ceiling, then higher and higher to a self that is me. All alone there in my dreaming, I wondered who's gonna feed me. In my dream, I'd made a salad already. The table was set. I had salmon and white sauce and capellini. balanced and nutritious. But I couldn't get to the kitchen, 'cause I was a rhododendron that had long vines. Oh, I'm thinking. Oh, I'm thinking on that old black magic and how it says, funny how time slips away. Funny how time slips away. I could almost say, let my vines slip away. I can almost say, let my vines slip away. Polished, healthy, strong vines at that. Let my vines slip away. Oh my God. That's from Room in the Dark, number 9 from the book Lillian. I should tell you that when the first tour for Colored Girls came to Washington, my mother made me go, and I was a kid, I didn't want to go. And then she got me to the theater, and she said, you won't have no seat. And I didn't have a seat because it was packed. And she said, you're going to do something called standing room. And I was like, what's that, you know? And she's like, that's where you stand in a room and watch what's on there. And I have to say, there's nothing else that had happened to me in my entire life before that that made me not think about where my body was and just connect to what was in front of me. And even better, the cast came to our house and my mom cooked them dinner. And I was looking at everybody like this, like, oh my goodness. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. This is the only song I have, I think, will maybe end up in the Ntozake Shange play. And I love this song, so, and it felt like it connected to this work. So I'm gonna do this, one of my tunes. I hate when it's tragic. I love when it's my way. I hate when it's tragic. I love when it's my way. You got to get what you want. Put it in a piece of your heart. Put it in its final place. Love it so it never stops. I say, I hate when it's tragic. I love when it's my way. I hate when it's tragic. I love when it's my way. Hey. Where y'all at? You supposed to repeat that line back. Hey. Oh. You supposed to repeat it back like you from New York. Like you are from New York. Here we go. Hey. Ha. Oh. Hey. Oh. tragic. I love when it's my way. I hate when it's tragic. I love when it's my way. I love when it's my way. My way, 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 yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you. Can I do this? Awesome.
Give it up for Toshi Reagon. Icon, legend, North Star.
Give it up for Mahogany Browne.
For My Dead and Loved Ones by Ntozake Shange. For Gail, Tracy, and Viola. Whatever shall I do with my dead, my tombs and mausoleums, these potted plants tended by strangers over your eyes closed, maybe dreaming, dead, loved, so particularly, I don't know what to do with you. Shall I see you dancing, hold your child asking, what's mammy like? Should I sleep with your husband who sees your child's self in my memories? Your mother, will she bosom talk me to death with you? Pretend she has been no mother? Our Smokey Robinson fantasy set aside, recollections coming to no good end. Grandma, must I ride with your daughters to sit in the cemetery on sunny days, weeding your womb? Wouldn't it be better if I stayed in my kitchen, making gumbo, codfish cakes, watching Edge of Night, rubbing my hands of my apron, humming His Eye is on the Sparrow. Your photograph at 25 is on my wall. Already you had given your woman over. No one would know you. Only mama is remembered. When was there more? I shall not lie fondling a dead man's love. Baking apples for a locket jam with hair from a head no longer arrogant. But what shall I do with my dead, loved so particularly, leaving me specifically? Some never stop breathing, wanting kisses. Some disappear, slamming the door, banging the phone. One went off in a VW bus, another stole my sleep. I sit here, drinking memories, entertaining ghosts, longing for arms no longer warm. Too enchanted to tend the pulse pushing me on to go off from you, my dead and loved ones. When I meet a someone, I must know I place you round me like a court of holy seers. If this stranger is to have a space in my life, she must pull your spirits to her own. For I wander regularly in moments of the dead. If you would have me speak, you must learn the tongue of my dead and loved ones. I have been left behind a survivor, holding out for more. And this is Blood Rhythms, Blood Currents, Black and Blue styling. French sugar beet farmers overwhelmed by mulatto competitors plastered Europe's cities with advertisements proclaiming, "Our sugar is not soiled with black blood." A popular Afro-Cuban saying is, "Sugar is made with blood," while in the South of the United States, cane growers processed natural sugar to get the nigger out. Fragrant Breezes in the south melt to melodies around small fires, mount tree limbs with black bodies and swaying, black and crooning, songs of sunset coming from the field's body, brazen, hard to put your finger on, like the blues, like the strum of guitars on dark, damp, southern nights. Hard to put your finger on, like screams in the black, bloody southern soil. Sweet black blood echoing through the evening service, grinding by the roadhouse door. Sweet black blood moving with slow breath, out of breath. Young Negroes run to pick up a bale of cotton, run to flee southern nights. Crosses, bare, blazing signals, black bloods gone running for Chicago, for the hollow, for the CC rider, for the New Day suite. Blocked melodies ache in a young girl's throat, ripped through their lips like the road to freedom was lit, all lit up with the grace of God. And Sears Tower, the Ford plane, and Pontiac's vision, all lit up, all lit up, all lit up. Slick fires, shedding the haunts of poll taxes and test questions like, where is America? Where is America? Where is America cost a finger, a heart, an ear, a teardrop falling from the sagging front porch to the project stairway, from the water fountain to the chain gang. The night train carried smuggled good news of strutting, signifying fellas with gold teeth neath they feet, and brawny sway for blocks and blocks, far as the eye could see, from Biloxi to Birmingham. The contraband of freedom seeped through the swamps. The air hung heavy with the cries of ain't gonna let nobody turn me round. And young boys in nice cut suits who were already standing with their heads up, already prancing with the finesse and grand stature, like men with eyes don't never look down, men with eyes bursting with glory, from the red sedans and the seats in schools to the right to sit wherever they want. And when the sounds of the harmonica was slowed by snarling dogs and hoses, when the washboards and bottleneck players were skedaddling out the bullet's way, up, up, up came a roaring force, a light blue controlled fire in an unused lane, pleated silk faces, bearing no scars to say, we ain't been touched. We the sweet black fires of dreams and of obfuscated beauty, like the trails of freedom the good Lord himself lit up. We gonna take this new city neon light, sound volumes for millions to hear, to love themselves enough to turn back the pulse of a whipping history, make it carry the modern black melody from LA to downtown Newark City. Freedom buses, freedom riders, freedom is the way we walk. The freedom is the way we walk that walk, talk that talk, gotta take that charred black body out the ground, switch on to a current new sound, to a new way of walking, a new way of talking. Blues, electrified, blues. Bolting the lynching tree and trembling and children blues define the sound of gravity for a people singing, for a people singing, for a people singing about the sachet of blood, rhythms set free. Thank you. Right when you catch the Holy Ghost, you realize you did need the water that they promised to give you. My bad. I'm going to close with a poem that I wrote, and I'm certain I wrote it because Ntozake Shange existed, and because she existed, I can exist. In 1976, Sassafras, Cypress and Indigo, she said, where there is woman, there is magic. And just maybe 10 years ago, maybe 12, I don't know, Black Girl Magic, the hashtag erupted. Maybe eight years ago, Black Girl Magic hashtag erupted. And people were like, oh, we're gonna commodify it, we're gonna make it a thing, we're gonna sell it, we're gonna own it. And I thought, how? Ntozake made it in 1976, she said it, she made it so. And it can't be commodified, it can't be bought and owned, it is us. It is any black woman who walks into a room and knows that she belongs wherever she goes. And her resilience is the magic. And this poem exists because of that moment. And thank you again for having me. I'm gonna do something that we didn't plan. Sorry, mic check. I'm gonna use that mic. Is that still on? The Toshi mic? Because it's already been blessed, I wanna use it. One, two, 1, 2. Ooh, see, you feel like good shoes too. They say you ain't supposed to be here, black girl. You ain't supposed to wear red lipstick. You ain't supposed to wear high heels. You ain't supposed to smile in public. You ain't supposed to smile nowhere, black girl. You ain't supposed to be no more than a girlfriend. You ain't supposed to get married. You ain't supposed to want no dream that big. You ain't supposed to dream at all. You ain't supposed to do nothing but carry babies and carry felons and carry weaves and carry silence and carry families and carry confusion and carry a nation, but never an opinion. Because you ain't supposed to have nothing to say, black girl, not unless it's a joke. Because you ain't supposed to love yourself, black girl. You ain't supposed to find nothing worth saving in all that brown. You ain't supposed to know that Tina, Beyonce, Cecily, Shonda, rhymes, shine, 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 black girl. You ain't supposed to love your mind. You ain't supposed to love. You ain't supposed to be loved up on. You only supposed to pose voodoo child, vixen style. You're supposed to pop out babies and hide the stretch marks. You're supposed to be still. So still, they think you statue. So still, they think you chalked outline. So still, they keep thinking you stone. Until you look more Medusa than Viola Davis. Until you sound more Shanae than Kerry Washington. Until you're more side-eyed than Michelle Obama on a Tuesday, but you tell them you are more than a hot comb in a Washington set. You are Kunta Kinte's kin. You are a black girl worth remembering, and you are a threat. Knowing yourself, you are a threat. Loving yourself, you are a threat. Loving your kin, you are a threat. Loving your children, you black girl magic, you black girl fly, you black girl brilliant, you black girl wonder, you black girl shine, you black girl bloom, you black girl, and you turning into a beautiful black woman right before our eyes.
I ain't got nothing to say.
It's the feedback of the universe after what just happened. You see? See that? Are we good? Where should I stand so that I don't hurt people or myself? How are we doing? Is this good? Wow, filled with gratitude. Mahogany Browne. Right? So I'm just gonna speak, I'm just gonna do what I'm here to do. I think it's in the programs and you all know, right? Good. Somebody almost walked off with all of my stuff. It's not my poems or a dance I gave up in the street, but somebody almost walked off with all of my stuff. It's like a kleptomaniac working hard and forgetting while stealing. This is mine. This ain't your stuff. Now, why don't you put me back and let me hang out in my own self? Somebody almost walked off with all of my stuff and didn't care enough to send a note home saying I was late for my solo conversation or 2 sizes too small for my own tacky skirts. What can anybody do with something of no value on an open market? Did you get a dime for my things? Hey, man, where are you going with all of my stuff? This is a woman's trip, and I need my stuff to ooh and ah about. Daddy, I got a mainline number from my own shit. Now, won't you put me back and let me play this duet with this silver ring in my nose? Honest to God, somebody almost run off with all of my stuff. And I didn't bring anything but the kick and sway of it. That's the perfect ass for my man. And none of it is theirs. This is mine. Her own things. Okwui, that's my name. Now give me my stuff! I see you. You're hiding my laugh. And how I sit with my legs open sometimes to give my crotch some sunlight. And there goes my love. That's my toes, my chewed up fingernails. Nigga, with the curls in your hair. Mr. Louisiana Hot Link, I want my stuff back. My rhythms and my voice. Open my mouth and let me talk you out of throwing my shit in the sewer. This is some delicate leg and whimsical kiss I got to have, to give to my choice, without you running off with all of my shit. Now, you can't have me unless I give me away. And I was doing all of that till you run off on a good thing. Who is this you left me with? Some simple bitch with a bad attitude. I want my things. I want my arm with the hot iron scar. I want my leg with the flea bite. I want my calloused feet and quick language back in my mouth. Fried plantains, pineapple pear juice, Sun Ra, and Joseph, and Jules. I want my own things, how I lived them, and give me my memories, how I was when I was there. You can't have them or do nothing with them. Stealing my shit from me don't make it yours. Makes it stolen. Somebody almost run off with all of my stuff, and I was standing there looking at myself the whole time. And it wasn't a spirit took my stuff. It was a man whose ego walked round like Rodin's shadow. Was a man faster in my innocence. Was a lover I made too much room for, almost run off with all of my stuff. And I didn't know I'd give it up so quick. And the one running with it don't know he got it. And I'm shouting, "This is mine!" And he don't know he got it. My stuff is the anonymous ripped off treasure of the year. Did you know somebody almost got away with me? Me! In a plastic bag under their arm. It's me, dangling on a string of personal carelessness. I'm spattered with mud and city rain. And no, I didn't get a chance to take a douche. Hey, man, this is not your prerogative. I gotta have me in my pocket to get round like a good woman should and make the poem in the pot or the chicken in the dance. What I got to do, I got to have my stuff to do it too. Why don't you find your own things and leave this package of me for my destiny? Because what you got to get from me, I'll give it to you. Yeah, I'll give it to you. Round 5 in the winter, when the sky is blue-red and Dew City is getting pressed. If it's really my stuff, you gotta give it to me if you really want it. I'm the only one can handle it. And all right. So this is also an incredible privilege. Ifa was speaking about this earlier. She spoke so beautifully. But this is the text, the book of poems posthumously published that will be out soon, right? Now? All right. No, it's not out now. Later this year, which must be next year, early. Yep, that's all right. So I've chosen a selection, and here we go. I am an old woman. I have my night thick with nostalgia and visions of my mother dancing to Stevie Wonder while I sit huge, pregnant, and clumsy by the door where Zoom, Ifa's dog, froze to death, where corn inches up from the soil and soft green sprouts envelop the free-roaming field mice seeking an exit to the labyrinth. Daddy cleans the pool of dried leaves. I wish they would stop coming to check on me. This is not a crib, and I know how to put the guardrails down. Salvador Dali teases me while he staggers by Columbus Circle to see Gauguin, lets me know he keeps to himself. Way up Fifth Avenue near Spanish Harlem, I discover the bus only goes downtown and I won't be able to make it. If he really is persistent, then he can go with me on the M4. He will be surrounded at my place by oceans, weary of waves lapping the shore, tired like me, weary of pounding joy into souls who only know joy on Christmas morning or dawn seeking out the Easter bunny, Halloween lanterns dim with the years. Sugar got a fiancé at 88. Sports a size 6. She may have a man, but she would have looked over CLR James at 94 at the Poetry Jam Busboys and Poets. He is now in there wishing for an autograph from the cricketer Brian Lara, a casual supper with Dashiell Hammett. Damn it. All of my cohorts now carry on without me. Even Pedro Pietri has to come back to get his shoes. He had such a good time at my house, strutting barefoot through Manhattan, wouldn't even pierce the soles of his feet, though telephone booths are now in museums and we have to dial the operator to get a connection. He insists he can ring me up anywhere in Puerto Rico, especially in the rainforest. There are no dead spots in the rainforest, just wild orchids and shadows of Jose Angel's Taina. I can only imagine sharing room and board at Manhattan Center with Pedro and the boys. Puerto Rican man shelter, may I help you? Now I have to remember and be grateful to Malala, who took a bullet for a girl's right to read. If I couldn't read, my world would be as barren as this place I live in, an old woman screaming, "Ignorance is not bliss, it's seductive, a quiet dishwasher." Bewildering young women who might blush, but I'm an old woman. Little embarrasses me. A blank page is an affront, could be an obvious overture to create beings who will sweat with me, beguile and tickle me. I might be carried off with Modigliani or Bearden, hearing Cecil Taylor for the first time, finding the tin drum, and again to share memories so the fiercest bring tears to my eyes. What is enmeshed but so exquisitely realized? I can touch it. What I imagine comes upon me, so I curl up as in a cocoon. Who knew I would metamorph into a butterfly? I am an old woman, lips tingling from cold champagne, lips fluttering from piquancy of a jalapeno. The taxi man calls me mom. So does his wife. They don't know the half of it.